in today's video, I will be looking at illustrations with you. I will be tracing them with my brush, my pointer, and also a pencil. I will be talking to you about those illustrations, but also I will read you a few little pieces from this book, Lada Between Two Worlds. And this book is available to buy if you are in New Zealand. You can get a copy like this, and if you are overseas, you can always go on Amazon and buy an e-book. Alright, so let me show you first the illustrations inside, and then I will put these illustrations on a separate pieces of paper just right here in front of you, and we will look at them, and I will talk to you about the characters of this book. So this how many illustrations I have, and I will put this candle to the side so it's not on our way. And first I will show you a few illustrations, and I talk to you as well about those crystals and why they're here. We'll show you my favorite illustration as well and just explain to you everything. So first of all, this beautiful picture here was done by one of my best friends, and her name is Kat Parsley. This is a beautiful illustration and the only colored illustration in this book. Other illustration here inside are black and white. And the first one is the first ever illustration that I got for this book with the girl Lada and the crows. There are more illustrations at the beginning of this book because this is when my friend wanted to do a lot, and then going towards the middle and the end there will be less illustrations, but it's only because the kids who read this book, or the adults, they already know the characters and can imagine them easily. So you can see that all those illustrations are handmade, and few of them were done on a piece of paper with a pencil, and some of them that are later on were developed on a special designer kit with an electronic pencil. And of course all the originals, Kat still has them, I hope. And we will look at a few illustrations that were not part of this book too. So first of all, let's read the blurb. What lives in the cellar? What secret do the spiders hide? And why is Lada the only one who can hear the owl screaming? Lada has a lot of questions. She also wishes for a lot of things. She wishes she had a friend. She wishes her papa didn't have to go and fight in the war. She wishes she knew why her mama left. She wishes for adventures. But when on New Year's Eve Lada receives a mysterious gift, it turns her life upside down, literally. Lada is pulled into a world of magic and danger where she must fight to survive, protect the ones she loved most, and discover who she really is. Lada is about to learn just how powerful wishes really are. And here's the owl. Such a beautiful drawing. Alright, this is not a big book, it's a short book, so I guess you can read it with your child in a few nights. And let's have a look at a few illustrations. So some of them are illustrations that were part of the book, like this, for example. And this illustration was done by hand, but actually didn't make it to the book. However, look how beautiful it is. But Lada and her friend Toad and the fox, such a beautiful image. And you see it is done by hand. And the little spider as well. And an owl. All the friends of Lada are here with her, supporting her while she's waiting for the fox to wake up. And this beautiful picture is part of the book and is very important because this is when Lada discovers that little spiders that live in his cellar create those beautiful magic pearls. They called pearl spiders. And magical pearls are those objects that can take Lada to a different world. And this is one of my favorite illustrations. And this is the moment when Lada discovers how those beautiful pearls and her necklace interact with each other. And this is a moment when the portal is being opened in the cellar. And this is a moment when Lada is going to enter a magical world of New Zealand. Yes, most of the book is happening in New Zealand. Why? Well, you will discover if you read it. And we have another beautiful illustration that shows us another scene with Grandma, Babushka. So if you want to learn how to pronounce Grandma in Russian, you need to remember that the stress is on another syllable, not what you used to. I know that many people say babushka, and this is very cute, but it is not correct. And I know this very well myself. I always put stresses in the wrong place. But I think this is just my personal mistake. However, babushka, I think, is not a personal mistake. It's just very common, and I think you can hear it everywhere. So it's not just one person pronouncing something incorrectly. So again, you say babushka, babushka. This is a scene where Babushka discovers the fox inside her house, and she's freaking out and she wants to scare this fox away through the door. And here we have the process of the spider creating one of those beautiful pearls that he will attach to the spider web. And also here you can see the same picture but done by hands. So this is already transferred into the digital program on the computer and worked on it. So it's like an iPad where she scanned and put her handmade illustrations in, and you can see how it has changed. So most of it of course stays the same, but Babushka has a different posture. Now she is more active and alive, but I like this one too. This is so cute. And this picture also has much more details. You can also notice the little drops, and those drops are Lada's tears, and the connection between the tears and the pearls will be explained in the book. Of course, my friend, when she did those illustrations, she developed her own style and became more creative. So here you can see an illustration that was part of the book, and this is when Lada, already in New Zealand with her little spider, and this lady with a very, very long braid who has this power to create mist, but also you can see the faces here that are part of it. Lada is being scared because she can't see anything apart from the mist. And then this lady, we call her Kuya, which means in Maori language, older lady. So once the mist is settled, Lada finds herself in Kuya's world, inside her house where there are no doors or window, so Lada can't escape, and Kuya gives her difficult task. Lada needs to get out because of her friend Fox, who is in danger in New Zealand. And of course, how she gets out is something you will find out from the story. So I hope that I can interest you to actually read it. So next illustrations that I wanted to show you is again two comparison. There are scenes from when Lada finally meets the fox. Again, this was done with pencil and then scanned and transferred into the computer, and now you can see it is full with different colors, while this one feels like a sketch. This one already feels like a drawing, an actual illustration. And this is the man who abducted the bird. Lada not only saving the fox, but also she needs to save other animals from the hunters. And of course she misses a fox so much. Fox is not a regular fox. He has some magical powers that are very helpful when you're dealing with humans. And here's this little spider that is traveling on Lada's hair. I wanted to talk about this book because something very cute happened the other day. I met a girl who said that she loved my book and she wanted an autograph, which was so unexpected. I really liked that this girl was so happy. She loved the story. And to me, this is the best reward. This is another genius illustration. I just love it so much. This is when Lada finds the owl who is in the cage and who is struggling, losing feathers because she can't get out. And these are the waves, and this is the storm with the wind. Look at how beautifully this is shown by this little spider hanging on to Lada's hair, and her dress is being blown away. And this little boat that is jumping on the waves and hitting a little jetty. And of course, the shadow of the hunter who is coming back to his boat to discover that Lada wants to release the owl. Very talented artist. We have another beautiful hand-drawn picture with Lada following the owl after the owl being released. And the owl is called Hine Ruru. And those of you who know Maori will understand what the owl is, who she is actually. We also have another beautiful action picture where the hunter man is standing firmly and trying to scare Lada, and the girl is facing this huge man. She's brave and she wants to release the fox that was captured by this hunter. This man is not bad. This is just the way he lives. He doesn't know the other way. He wants to capture those animals and sell them on markets. And this is how he gets his money. But I wanted to make sure that in this book there is no punishment for evil. Just like in Miyazaki cartoons, I wanted to see evil turn the other side and become kind. And that's why this hunter also changes. through the story with the help of other creatures, of course. And the final illustration that I wanted to show you, there are of course more, but I want you to read the book and find them for yourself. This is when Lada comes to this beautiful forest with amazing, huge tree. But this tree was dying, the leaves were falling, and the owl shows her the cavity in the tree and calls her to come inside, invites her into her home. And what is happening there inside her home is another mysterious, magical thing that you will discover. Beautiful, kind story that is safe for kids. With some interesting subplots for adults to think about. So as I said, I'm going to read you a little piece of this book, and I want to read you part of a notebook entry, and this is something that is quite different from the rest of the story. There are some letters that Lada hasn't received yet, but the reader has this beautiful opportunity to find out a little bit more of the background from that story. I'm just going to find you one of the letters. I'm going to read it to you. Dear Lada, I saw you today through the window of my house. People think it's abandoned, but surprise, surprise, I'm still here. I knew sooner or later you would figure it out and come to get the answers. So why didn't you knock? Honestly, even if you did, I wouldn't have let you in. Not now, when I'm looking like this, half man, half ghost. I don't blame people for avoiding me. Even the bats that lived under my roof during summer are now gone. Only one of them stayed, the one that is probably too old to travel south. I keep my house warm for her. I think it's a she. But with that hole in the roof, I'll need a lot of coal to get through the winter. I wasn't always like this. There was a time in my life when I lived, truly lived. I will write down everything that happened 12 years ago, and maybe one day I will have the courage to give this notebook to you, because you deserve to know the truth. And those letters are there through the entire book, and they are quite important for understanding what has happened in the past and how the things that were happening to Lada relate to what happened earlier. So here you have a story of the girl and the fox and some magic. That was my first book I've ever wrote, and my first book I've ever published. First and the only book I've ever published. I really believe in this story. I think it is an amazing story that I wrote with my heart, and something that I feel will be really beneficial for the kids, but also for adults. So read it together with your children and let me know what you think in the comments. And those of you who listened to my audiobook, Lada Between Two Worlds, I can tell you that this story is quite different from what you've listened to. So I encourage you to read this story too. Thank you everyone for watching, for your interest in my art, and I really hope that you could relax and fall asleep during this video. And now you can rest, and tomorrow you will wake up with new energy to meet the wonders of the world. Have a great night.